What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Line in the Stars. I'm Jordan, and we are back today with another episode of the Yesterday's Enterprise build series and the USS Enterprise 1701C. Oh man, since the last episode, I have been obsessing over the story for why we're going to paint the Enterprise the way we are. I was talking it over with Matt the other day, and he was like, dude, that's really good. Like, we should do this. So I have put together a script. I'm kind of like putting the final touches on it. And here in the coming weeks, we're going to have an episode where it's going to describe the what if for our Enterprise. And so what we're going to do today is we are going to be applying our paint, the rest of the rings of blue that we're going to be applying. And really, it's going to be just these two colors that we're going to be focusing on for the entire model. There might be, around the engineering section, we might choose to do something a little different, but I would like to just stick with these two colors. I really like the way they work together, and I've been staring at the model for quite a while, at least the saucer section, trying to like come up with a plan. So, what we're going to be starting with is we're going to be lining the outer ring, starting here at this hull panel section, and then we're going to wrap that around to the bottom. That is going to apply as well over here to the bottom and only through the outer ring there. So, that's where we're going to start. And then from there, we are going to go into this inner ring, which is separated by this line here. This inner ring is going to go the blue. This lower section, which is deck number 2, is going to be the base coat color, except for this grill area. So we're going to go ahead and mark off this area and paint it blue. And then we are going to mark off the bridge dome, and then we're going to paint this top section, and only the top section, not along the sides that's going down to deck 2. Deck 1, the facing of deck 1 is going to stay the base coat color, but the top is going to go our blue color. And then I'm going to make sure to mask off the bridge dome section. We're going to leave that base coat, and then we're going to eventually color it with a different color. We need to figure out what that's going to look like as we go along. And I've been looking into, we had a commenter, and I'll go ahead and throw his name up here on the screen. He's like, hey, you should check out this set of like masking tapes that were created by Aztec Dummy and this really famous like model maker. I can't think of his name off the top of my head right now, but fascinating idea, and I may pick it up. Like it gives you the full masking set, so like you lay down different sets and you're able to actually do the proper paint job. If I had known about that, maybe we would have done a stock paint job on this, but here we are. It's those comments, though, that really help the channel and things that I really appreciate that's really going to help. And I think I'm going to pick up the set regardless, and it's just going to be for the fact that they have the masking for all of the windows and all of the escape pods like masked out, so you're able to actually very clearly go through and cleanly paint this. And once again, I want to paint this as cleanly as possible, and so there's like, if there are masking tools out there that are available for that specific purpose, we are going to 100% take that. So I've been looking into it. Really want to thank you so much for your comment on that one. That is going to be a game changer for this model and every other model going forward. When I'm building a new model series, I'm going to be looking to see if there is those masking sets from Aztec Dummy. I'll go ahead and throw a link down in the description for this video to a website that I found that has all of the models that you can possibly imagine for sci-fi and all of the stuff that you would need for it. So yeah, it's just a fantastic site, and I'll go ahead and throw the link down below. And then for the bottom of the saucer section, it's gonna be a little less complicated, although we are gonna be kind of like doing, like I said, a little bit of a custom job down here. We do have the one outer ring. And then we're going to go ahead, like I said, and just the outer portion of it, because I want it to wrap around slightly around the edge of the saucer. This is a bit of a... I had to think about this one, and the way they did it is with the lighter gray around the outside, and so I want to replicate that and just go with the dark with the blue. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to go in between. So we have here this ring and this ring. I'm going to paint in between here over the phaser strips. And then where I'm going to deviate is I want to bring that blue down to here. So at the third hull panel section, I'm going to tape off and we're going to bring it down here to connect the two rings together. I thought about bringing some color into the middle, and depending on how this outer ring looks, I'm trying not to make it too busy. I think I'd rather focus on just like, you know, having the Aztecing or the hull panel work. I haven't decided which way we're going to go with this one, whether we're going to do capillary work or Aztecing, and I think the Aztecing comes with that dummy set might be the way for us to go. This is a lot of the capillary work on this would just be insane. So I do worry about, you know, getting in there. So it's likely we're going to get some Aztecing for this one. But with that being said, I'm trying to keep it from being too busy down on the bottom. Once again, this paint job is going to be a little bit more subtle and a little bit more in line with what we saw in the later seasons of Star Trek The Next Generation, and specifically Deep Space Nine, leading up to and during the Dominion Wars. So let's go ahead and get started on our tape. We are going to start along the bigger portion, and that's going to be the outer ring. And I'm actually really excited to show you guys this process. Like I said, in the last video, I was really struggling with jankiness of my own part, so I don't know what to tell you. So what we're going to do here is I've cut like a ton of little strips of tape. I know there's the Tamiya curved line tape, but you know, it's one of those things where like I gotta like watch my spending a little bit, and so I've picked up a lot of stuff in this last couple weeks for all of the models, but as you've seen, we've dropped a couple new series and it's required some upgrades to our equipment. Yeah, I just spent some time upgrading my office, and you know, that's required a little bit of you know, a couple things bought. I haven't, like, really what I've been doing is just completing everything that I've purchased over the last little, like, couple of years, just of like office supplies and knickknacks and all that crap, and it's all just now all together on my desk, and I'm really happy with it. These first couple episodes here that these last round of episodes that I've been filming have all been in my new station and with my newer equipment, and this has made my life so much better. You know, like right now I'm on the Tamiya paint stand right now, and it's like I get to spin my saucer around for days. You know, so I'm not gonna struggle to get my, you know, tape on, and like in the previous episode that, you know, parts that you guys never actually wound up seeing, I was really struggling getting, you know, like good angles where my hand wasn't necessarily blocking everything. And I understand that, like, I'm kind of sitting over the top of it and there's not much I can do, but I have to be able to see it. So, and we are going slightly over at the very end of the pieces of tape. I am going to wind up taking, as weird as it sounds, my fingernail and running along the hull panel section here to define it. And then we will grab our X-Acto knife and clean up our edge. So, and I know that my tape pieces aren't like 100% straight, so well aware of that. But yeah, so it's been one of those things where it's been really gratifying to sit and record and do all of this at the new station, you know, like I was working in a really tiny space. I'll get you guys a view of my office here soon. Not like I'm trying to hide anything. It just wasn't really, I was really in a tiny little spot. My desk that I had was really small, and as these models have gotten bigger, I was just like, man, you know, and so we had a desk upgrade in the house elsewhere, and so we had this desk that I'm currently on, and it's still, you know, it's an old desk, but it's working perfectly for what I need. I have no problem with getting, you know, paint on it or what have you. And just kind of, like I said, just grabbing floating shelves that we're not using, and like all these different little things. Here, let's see if I can get it up here so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. Yeah, and I just kind of like I said, put it all together, and it's been really satisfying building the models here now. It has made my life so much better. I've been really grinding lately on getting... I've gotten accustomed to putting out a bunch of videos every single week, and I don't want to let that go. And so I've been really grinding because, like I said, I got a full-time job, and this is also pretty much a full-time job. So, but what's cool about this, I gotta say, the thing that I'm really finding is that it's like amazing for my mental health. I have ADD and was never really diagnosed until I was 40. So, and it's explained a whole lot in my life, actually, if I'm being quite real. But this really helps me focus it when my brain is going and I can't stop it. I'm able to basically just focus on this, and it's great. Like, I can plan for it. I can think about it. I can think about what we're going to do next. And yeah, Matt and I were talking quite a bit yesterday, and we don't see a whole lot of Matt on the channel, and it's just because he's got a whole lot of, unfortunately, like some family stuff going on, and he is more of the technical person behind the scenes. He's the one who created our logo, and I've been doing all the stuff that's coming out is all me lately, but he is. His skills are much more developed than mine, and I'm excited for him to kind of get a little bit more involved here in the coming weeks. We are about getting ready to expand onto TikTok. I don't... I'm assuming that me and a lot of us are not TikTok savvy, and, I know there are feelings about TikTok, whatever. But it's a great medium for... social media, which is what this is. It's a great medium for us to get subscribers and support. Ultimately, in the end, this is going really well for us. And so he's going to be focusing on taking the videos that have been created and creating little shorts for it. And when that happens, we'll make sure to post those links as well. Basically, just like condensed little versions of these videos, with the idea of targeting... Like, we were talking, and I mentioned it in one of the recordings here recently. I've done so many of them that I forget which one, if I'm being real. But, one of the things that I was saying was that, I realized that for certain demographics, model building is not exactly the most accessible thing because it does require money, and a lot of it. And so... to be able to bring model building to kids, because I know, like I said, it was a big part of my life as a kid, and it teaches you so many valuable skills, how to be handy with your hands and, be crafty and be creative. Like I said, this has done amazing things for my mental health. It gives me a way to focus my ADD, and it gives me a way of, giving me some fulfillment, like have a great relationship, great home life, great work life. But otherwise, I'll just sit here and watch TV and watch Star Trek and Star Wars. And it's great, but, I'd rather be creative and do something. And I feel like my days have been filled out with it. And so if we're able to get kids into watching this and then learning about models and being excited about them in some way, even if it's even slightly possible, I think it's worth our time. So, yeah, it's definitely like one of our things that is definitely worth our time. So now, enough of me on my soapbox. Let us find our hull panel line. And as weird as it sounds, I tried to use like all sorts of things. Screwdrivers, plier points. But what I find that works best is using the tip of my fingernail so I can feel it.
feel it and help guide where we're going to be cutting. Yeah, I did a pretty good job here. And this is the same exact approach we took with the bottom of the hull plate section. Excuse me, the top of the hull plate section last time, right over here. Bottom, I didn't do the greatest job because I was attempting to use different equipment to define the hull panel lines, and it didn't quite work the way I wanted it to, and so we cut into the hull a little bit. So I found that this is the best process for it. Yeah. So Matt is going to be focusing on getting these out into TikToks, and then we're, even podcasting on a regular basis, and so those have been coming out, and we want to co-op some games together. Should be pretty fun. Yeah, so that's kind of the lay of the land, but he was the one who really set up all the technical stuff and really did all the editing and all of everything for the first like 13 podcasts that we had. So yeah, it's a lot of work. Putting out podcasts is a lot of work. So now I'm going to carefully get in here. Try not to push too hard. And I'm going to use this. Oh man, being able to rotate this and keep my hand in the same exact spot. Oh man, this is fantastic. Ugh. I'm holding down. I could rotate from the bottom, but I'm holding the model down so that it doesn't slip. Like that. Hopefully I didn't get... Ooh, a little worried when I put that piece of tape on. So, what we're going to do is cut that piece of tape off right here. Cut that piece of tape off right here. I'm not going to accept... I'm not going to let perfection be the enemy of good. I can tell you that, but I can also tell you that if it's preventable for me to do something janky, we're going to do that as well. So, cut a piece of tape off. Get that back in our spot. Across. Into our groove. And continue on. Yeah. That's the right approach. The tabletop that I'm using is the Tamiya Spray Friend or something like that. I believe it's what it's called. God, I should know this better. I literally just bought it. We're gonna accept that one. Got it. Goodness me. Then we just double down on it. The Tamiya Painter's Friend or something like that, and it has two. What do you call it? Two stands, one with a set of spring arms, excuse me, that you're able to position like the top of a car. It's meant specifically for painting cars. And then has this one, which is a flat tabletop, and is the actual reason why I picked it up. I wanted to make sure that when we're doing this next part of this, I had this for this very reason. And once again, proof of concept, proof of idea. I knew that this was going to be a big deal for us to get this. And that was correct. Oof. So, we'll repeat that process again. We do not let jank slide. Yeah. So
any part where I have any tape that's coming up and flayed at the ends, I'm not gonna let stand. Tweezers here. Let's try our straight edge tweezers. That works great. Okay. So now, set it right over the top. Not gonna worry about being too precise with that one because we're patching. I'm gonna stab myself in the nuts. I'm being real. One thing I found, and this is infuriating to me, as someone who obsesses over things being level, my office is not level. Like right up against the edge of the house, like it's an old condo. Right up against the edge, it kind of slants a little bit, and so my chair is currently sitting a little slanty, and it's crazy. Towards, where did we start cutting? I think right about there. And we will be taking this stand into the paint booth with us. I said in a previous video, I think it was one of the Boba Fett episodes, that... Is this where we started? I wasn't going to take these into the booth, but that is incorrect. I am 100% going to take these into the booth. Okay, let's go ahead and separate our ends. Oh yeah, nice and clean. Here's our cut. It's unfortunate, but part of the personality of the model. As I get to look at it later on, I'm like, oh yeah, that's where I learned that you don't do that. I am totally willing to accept mistakes, guys. While trying to achieve not perfection, but really good process and product, I am willing to accept mistakes. You have to. Otherwise, you start to obsess. Teaches you to relax a little bit. One of our patch jobs. That turned out pretty good. Nice. Yeah. I was a little worried about this process when I was beginning the model, but now I know what I'm doing. It's not the fastest thing, but I think it's going to give us the best quality. And if I had known about the masking kits in the beginning, you know, like that, I spent like 2 hours on that website yesterday. I gotta be honest. And they have like a list of upcoming models, and there are some, like for me, that's super exciting. Just being able to see what's coming up. Okay. So there is our outer ring. I need to cut up a little bit more tape here. So we will be right back. All right, we got ourselves some more tape cut and ready to go. So let's go ahead and get our outer ring here taken care of, or our inner ring, so to say. So let's go ahead and start here. And I think the approach is going to be, I want to use a third color, and I think it's going to be a light blue to define those rings. So I'm going to come along the inside of the ring here. picking a random spot to start. Don't really demand it to Jesus. So here, I need to be careful. I'm not going to push down too much right there, because we're going to be coming up to our edge. Kind of define that line right there right now. Now, what I want to do, let's go ahead and push that down so I can cut it away. Let's very lightly go down the panel line. Just enough to get it. Got a nice clean spot right there, and I might actually take this clean line on the little piece I cut, so we can pull this off. Well, kind of needs to go over, but that worked. Okay. So now, actually, you know, I'm going to go all the way up. So I need to mask that part off anyway. Finding whole sections as I'm going along here, being a little careful. Although, I may not want to do that now that I think about it, because I'm starting to put a lot of tape right there, and I don't want to start making a huge pile of stuff that I gotta pull off and work around and cut through, so take a different approach. So I'm gonna come inside there just slightly. Okay. Okay. And this one, I'm going to cut a small piece out. And I'm going to cut myself a straight edge here. That's the beauty of this pad. Nice clean straight edge. I'm going to set down using my tweezers. There we go. Very nice. So now, let's go ahead and tape around the rear grill section here. Wasn't pleased with that. Need to employ these straight edge pliers a little bit more. That worked really nice. Okay, I'm going to lift this up here. Work it down. Okay. Recognize that we need to go over the top of that, so I'm going to actually cover it. That way it goes over the top, and then we just define the whole panel line. And what I mean by that is one of the running lights that's on top creates an imperfect surface. Nice. Now, how should I approach that? I'm going to cut myself out a thin strip. Cover the observation lounge. Need to go a little thinner. There we go. And go around the outside of the observation lounge. Trying to be conscious because I'm also taping off the top here. I'm going to set it down right in the middle, right where I need it to be. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. That is exactly what I wanted that to do. Perfect. I love when things work out. So now I'm going to grab this little strip that I created. Let's go ahead and use that. Is that enough? Ish. We'll use it. Because it gets down in there perfectly. Very nice. Okay. That's good. Okay. Now I'm going to cut another little strip off here. And we're going to set that one down. Right there. Very nice. Just a little bit. Perfect. Very pleased with that. I'm going to have to do a very tiny little bit of cutting there. So now, we've gotten part of this blocked off. Go ahead and seal it in along the bottom, on the back here. And then we're going to find our inner hole line and just draw it in. There we are. Okay. Perfect. So making sure I did that right. Grab the last little strip here that we created. Don't want to waste any of our tape. perfect. Very nice. Okay. And I think we're going to go ahead and work on our paint next episode. This is turning out to be kind of a long one, and we still need to tape the bottom. So we're going to take care of masking this, lining it, getting it ready to go for paint, and then we will paint in our next episode. I'm just kind of looking at time going, man, this is taking a while. But once again, in order to do things right, you need to take the time to do so. So it's definitely an important thing that we're doing. It's taking our time. Ooh. I'm trying to leave some of it not totally sealed down. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. A little piece of tape in my finger, you can see there. So yeah, how we'll approach the next episode is we'll get it into the booth, get it painted up, get it cleaned up, and then we will talk about what we're going to do next. And I think by then I should have my decal set up. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our final little pieces here put into place. Let's cut a bunch of tiny little strips here, making sure to try to get as much of a straight line as possible. And we'll use our cutter roll on the edge to make sure we have clean lines. Nope, not far enough down. Seems to only stick up over the end. And I'm intentionally kind of doing it that way too, so that we can get the curve. Oop. Okay. And there we are. So that's a little bit better. That makes me happy. So let's seal up along the edge here. Okay, and one more time, I'm going to run along the inside. Just make sure I'm going to push in. Get that seal. Tape tear. Yeah, so in the next episode we'll do the bottom, which is going to take nothing, and we'll do the paint. I think that's a good way to go. Then after that, guaranteed that the Aztec decals will be here, the Aztec dummy stuff will be here. So for this one, what we're going to do today is we're going to go ahead and get our tape cut, and then we are going to apply our saran wrap to the top and go ahead and call it a day. This has been a lot of tape work, and to be honest, like, it's worth the time to do so. I was really pleased with how this turned out, and so I'm looking forward to seeing how this process goes after I've learned a little bit from the whole thing. And this is so cool about this whole process of everything we're doing, if I'm being real. I've learned so much over the last few months about all sorts of different things. Different modeling styles and concepts and how to shoot video and how modern computers are working and thinking, and data storage and editing, and yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. Oh. Here, let's go ahead and cut along the base. Okay. Let's get our cuts up along the top here. Yep, they're in there. There's that one in there. And by in there, I mean in the line. And I think that's close enough. Okay. Let's go ahead and cut along the front here again. Oop. Thankfully that didn't rip. Just kind of pull it away. Yeah. Again, need to seal up my tape. Okay. That one spot. Alright, now we got as far as here. Cut down here. Across. Down here. Start here. There we go. And I think we're ready to peel some tape. Let's go ahead and see how we did. Start along the inside here. Very nice. Yeah, it's clean. Using the fingernail, a little bit of overlay there. Let's see if we can clean that up. Or overcut. There we go. Okay, very nice. Clean. Try not to scrape too much. There we go. Just looking for a good place to start that one there. Oh no. Okay, that one turned out okay. Let's go back here. A little bit of cut and a little bit of scratch. It's okay. There we go. I'm going to seal this back in, and we will come back over before we paint in the next episode. And what I like to do is take a screwdriver or a paintbrush edge, and I'm going to run along the edges and make sure to seal them in really nice. pop back sat there though. That's totally fine. Okay. Cut one piece over here. Okay. Alright, that turned out pretty good. Just kind of use my tweezers to kind of push this back a little bit there. Okay, let's see how this turned out over here. No, much cleaner, much nicer. Happy with that. And I think that is... yeah, this is a little schmutzy over here. There we go. Okay, so there is our design. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and grab my press and seal. And we're going to go ahead and lay it over the top, just like so. And where I'm going to start is along the outside. When I press it, oop, other side. There are two sides to press and seal, by the way. Did not know that the first time. So, what we're going to do, I'm just going to work around the outside, pushing down. Pulling tight and trying to avoid, wrinkles wherever we can. And I'm pushing down directly onto the tape, and if I get a little bit over on the edge, it's totally fine. Now that's better. The tape holds on to it really well, as does the texture of this model. It's got a very clearly defined hull panel sections on it, so okay. So we'll go once again, run her on the outside, and because this is messy, we're going to clean up the outside first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stay as far up along the edge of the tape as I can. And I'm just going to very lightly... ugh. Oh my god. Okay, so this is where this is amazing. Last time I was like very uneven with my cut. And I just got to keep my knife in place. Oh, this is amazing. This is amazing. This thing I've been using it for a couple days now, and it's just been the most handy and convenient thing. Where do we start our cut? All the way over there? Then, very carefully pull. Got a little bit of a right at the edge where the overlap was. And now, just the outer ring has been exposed, and the rest is covered up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now take my hands and go up to the tape here and do the same concept. And as I'm going along, I'm going to push down and seal everything into place, starting at the outside Because one, if any of the pieces wind up unsealing themselves, there's nowhere for it to go. And two, so that I can seal it up to the tape. Okay. Do the same thing all the way up to the very edge. Cut up over the top here. Get that tucked into the side. Cut up over the top right there. And around. Finish sealing it up. Now, let's go ahead and remove. It's not going to fully want to seal in place until we've cut the tape, or cut the plastic. So let's go ahead and cut our plastic. Cut back a little bit here so we have some room to work. Sorry, concentrating hella hard. Okay. Oh, is that too close? Oof, that was a little close, but we made it. Okay, so now the only surfaces that I have exposed are the areas that I want to paint. And that, my friends, is how we did that outer ring and how we're going to approach all of our masking going forward. Unless you all have a better tip and trick, like, okay, now the better tip and trick is, of course, you know, the, oh no, I see, I just made a mistake. I see that, and I'm glad I caught it. Over here, we did not catch the outer ring. We went to the inner ring. That's fine, we'll see a little bit of that in there. And actually, we're good. Yeah, so all that's exposed is what we're gonna paint. This is what we did last time. So in the next episode, we're going to go ahead and do the same thing to the bottom, although it's a much less complicated paint scheme that we're going to be doing down there. This one will end up taking a little time just because, you know, we are doing a little bit of complicated work and I'm explaining what I'm doing. So we are going to, in the next episode, like I said, do the same thing, and then we're going to go ahead and apply our paint. We're going to do the same thing to the bottom, and then we're going to go ahead and apply our paint. We're going to do our 9 coats to match the same coat level. I know it sounds crazy, but we wound up doing 9 coats, and we're going to match our coat level here, and we will, oh, and I see you, Sosha. I see you, Sosha. I was like, wait, that doesn't look good right there. We're going to match it up, and then we will go ahead and take a look and see what the result was of this. And then we're going to go ahead, and from there, like I said, we're going to have the dummy Aztec stuff here, and we should like look at the concept and like plan out what we're going to do for that. Yeah, so that's going to be the name of the game. So I just want to say thank you. I know there's a million things y'all could have done today, and instead you spent a couple minutes watching me build a model, which I think is pretty damn cool. If you guys have any questions, comments, tips, tricks, please let me know down below. If you guys like to support the channel, please like and subscribe. Oh, and my friends, until we see each other again, I hope you all have a wonderful day in this beautiful world, wherever you happen to be. And just remember to always live long and prosper.